We see this type of question on every SAT, usually multiple times per SAT, and it's the kind of question where if you don't really know what you're dealing with, you're going to get it wrong. The SAT is absolutely trying to trick you here. So it looks like we have to make some decisions about the tense of these verbs, right? Do we need includes, include, that's present tense. Including is kind of a weird tense. Has included, I guess that's the past tense. So it feels like we need to make those kinds of decisions. That is not what this question is about. It is instead about verb agreement. And so we need to memorize the rules around verb agreement. And we should know to check verb agreement first because that's what the SAT likes to use to trick us. There are questions about tense on the SAT, but we should always think about verb agreement first, which means we need to think, are the verbs singular or plural? And remember, singular verbs end in S, meaning choice A is singular. Choice B is plural. Choice C is kind of weird, it's kind of neither. And because of the word has, choice D is singular as well. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that our verb here agrees with the subject in the sentence, the thing that's doing the verb, that's doing the including. Now I know what they want us to do here is there's a lot of different nouns, and so it can be tricky to figure out what one we need. Now there is a little bit of a, well, let me give you the answer first. The real subject here is forms. And the way we know that is we can kind of just say it without the extra stuff in between. The most common forms include coaching, mentoring, technical assistance, and workshops. Now that's a little weird because it makes me want to ask, like, the most common forms of what? Right? Why can't I just leave out this middle piece? And this is where the grammar rule piece comes in really. This word of is very important to us. That is a preposition, and it means that everything here in green is a prepositional phrase. It's extra information. It's really helpful for understanding what they're trying to say. But grammatically speaking, it is extra. It is not part of the core sentence. And for that reason, it can't be the subject of the sentence. It can't be in there. It has to be somewhere else. And so it's what comes right before it, right? It's what's the prepositional phrase is kind of describing the forms. And forms is plural, so we need a plural verb to match with that. Now the mistake most people make is they think that employees is the subject, because it's right before the verb, and so that's kind of how we talk usually, so it seems right. And if you did think that, you would still get this question right because employees is also plural. That's just good luck. That will not happen every time. In fact, you should assume that it's not going to happen 90% of the time. This is a rare case where if you got tricked by the grammar, you still ended up getting the question right just because of the way they set it up. A lot of people think, though, it's something like professional development. Something like that would throw us off because that's singular. So we just got to be really careful here. There's a lot of extra stuff between the noun, the subject, and the verb. That is how these questions work. You got to memorize this rule, and then you can get these 10 points, this hard 10 points right every single time. This is a very important rule. It comes up very often. And it is a thing that we have trouble sometimes recognizing that they're even testing. So you want to get in the habit of looking at those answer choices and figuring out what's going on. What do they really want me to care about? Verb agreement takes precedence over tense. So that way you avoid getting trapped and caring about tense, which doesn't matter in this case at all. We have to pick this tense because that's the only plural verb. So there you go. That's convenient.